My name is Asim Jagdale. I work with Texas Instruments.
I'm Sushma Bhatt, represent the Quotient Technology.
My name is Pallavi, as the name displays, and I am the talent acquisition lead for APAC.
I am from Cloud4C, Control-less Data Center.
So I represent Blue Yonder.
So I'm Niket. I head a talent acquisition practice for Lenovo.
I am part of the Jupiter HR team.
Now I represent Schneider Electric.
I'm Avinash. I'm one of the co-founders at Global Talent Exchange. This GTX is a platform, global platform, engaging with global talent and essentially bringing game changers, businesses like yourself and talent together. Our focus is to tap into global tech hubs, global talent tech hubs, and help them with opportunities in India. So there's a constant trickle that keeps happening in terms of talent that keeps coming back to India. So we want to channelize that and see how we could bring them on for roles that can really make impact for the kind of roles that you're looking at here. In terms of how pandemic has wreaked havoc and the whole lens that we see talent acquisition with now has kind of changed. McKinsey's survey last year found that about 87% of executives were experiencing skill gap in their workforce, and expected expect that to continue for a few more years, right? I mean, so in today's hyper competitive labor market, the demand for a compelling and effective EVP is more important than ever, right? Organizations that effectively deliver on their EVPs can decrease annual employee turnover by just under 70% and increase their hire commitment by nearly 30%. So let's understand how dynamic the EVP has been over the last couple of years and how you dealt with it in your respective organizations. How do you see it evolving in the years to come?
It's also something that is beautifully aligned to what we call our collective purpose, right? And that's nothing but why we do what we do.
In my opinion, EVP for an external talent is equal to like a review, what you read up externally, what you hear from the company employees.
But we definitely did change what is it that matters to the audience that we're talking to, and therefore understanding that clearly and trying to have brevity in our communications.
We as organization have to start thinking very differently to really engage, and consciously a lot of efforts I have been putting towards career growth for employees.
The narrative does not change, more or less, right? The communication, the mode of communication and bringing it forward through your current employees is a very important aspect of how we are driving our EVPs.
If I were to talk about talent attraction, yes, we have been pretty successful in weaving out a story and talking about the kind of exposure that they will get on the work front.
We should get to look at people, their personal health and mental well-being, and then we should look at the business.
So there are three strategies. You have to either be a lag, a lead, or match, right? So you cannot be leading in all the technologies or all for all the hires that you're doing. You have to make a strategy inside the organization.
So one of the studies, says that even as late as last year, globally, the top three drivers of talent attraction were, certainly compensation, ranking number one, work-life balance, stability in the workplace. Those are the three top, points. Location, of course, remained, much lower. And then, of course, career opportunities and stuff like that. So, what is the one thing that has worked, in the last 1 year for you when it came to talent attraction?
Trust me, these key engagement leadership sessions with the future joiners is going to bring out a lot of unanswered questions from these people, which will help them to kind of, if somebody is between jobs, which will help them to influence their decision to join the company.
But what has helped us to hire and attract is primarily about the work. We have been really speaking and giving them a good visibility of what they could really own and drive, and how they would be able to really grow within the organization.
Hiring is not only the talent acquisition's responsibility. Always hiring is a behavior that we expect everyone to exhibit in all spheres all the time.
The fact that we have managed to transition, not losing out on our message and our goodness through the change that has happened. So the fact that there's word of mouth.
About joining, some of the roles which were very, very difficult to fill were filled in remotely. And that was a silver lining by the pandemic.
There has been no one-stop solution for Cloud4C, which has worked. So I would say for different types of hires, different strategies worked out.
Address this while we speaking about what companies are doing to bring talent on board, multiple things to attract. One of the things that companies are also doing is to expand the talent pool, is to hire for potential, right? I mean, if you're looking at experience, I think that kind of limits the talent pool that you're looking at. And experience is not equal to performance. Hard skills certainly can be taught, but not the attitude, right? So within your organizations, how is it that you're looking at potential? What is it that you're doing to increase that talent pool to look at potential? I mean,
bring them forward and looking at them. So yes, it is always for potential. Some of the ways in which it manifests is, of course, it's not evaluating for knowledge, but evaluating for learnability, or definitely looking at how the person would fit into the organization.
The methodology used there is you stick to the skills that are needed for anyone to be successful in the role that you are hiring for.
It is the responsibility of both recruiting talent advisors and the hiring managers to understand this ever-changing talent landscape and look at what do you mean by hiring for potential, and how do you really kind of fuel to ramp up wherever it is required.
People talk about buy versus build in this scenario where we are fighting for talent. For some organizations, it has to be a balance of both buy and build. For some, they just go on an acquisition spree because they have the muscle power. What has worked for you guys in your organization?
Because in many ways, there are definite advantages that I see in the organization of moving people through your culture, and therefore their engagement with your organization, your ability to have that kind of alignment is an incredible advantage that we swear by. But the ability to say, for example, turn around quickly. So keep the engine chugging. I believe the build philosophy works really well.
Has to coexist the build and the buy philosophy of hiring, and it really depends in perspective as to what are you hiring for, what's your business priority.
From an industry perspective, the buy versus build is a very, very successful model, and it's here to stay, right? Because
it was wonderful having all of you. Thank you so much for these insights. I guess each one of us have taken back something from the rest of the panelists here.